and welcome to Legal Affairs. My name is Diamond Liddy, and I'm the public defender of the 19th Judicial Circuit. We have a wonderful show, and with us is a really kind of a celebrity throughout St. Lucie County, as well as the school district and all this. Everything having to do with the children in the schools, and it is Brandon Nobile. How are you, Brandon?
Great. Good morning. Good to be with you.
Now, Brandon, obviously, we talked before the show. You have a many-faceted, multi-level involvement and all of that in the community, and we're going to talk about that here in a second. I want you to go over some of the things that you do, because it really is impressive. But and thank you for finding time to be on the show. But let's just start with the basics.
Sure.
What is your job, and then we're going to talk about why you're on this show.
So I own and run Remnant Construction, which is a local construction manager here based in Fort Pierce. We started in Fort Pierce. We do a lot of municipal work. We've got a couple fire stations going. We're working on both of the new high schools for the school district,
right,
as well as various other projects.
Which is great.
Yeah, it's been a very interesting run. It's been a lot of growth, very, very fast. So it's been a challenge.
No, I can imagine. Yeah. And you grew up here?
Yes, ma'am. I graduated from St. Lucie County Schools. I actually got a building construction degree from Indian River State College.
Wow.
And use those things to open a business locally. Yes, ma'am.
No, that's terrific. Okay, you are on a bazillion boards. Just kind of go through them, and then we'll circle back to why you're here.
Sure. Yeah. So actually, I started in the nonprofit world. I was asked by my company several companies ago to join the Education Foundation. I did, and I got really, really involved in it. I've been on that board for I think 9 or 10 years now. Just got done being the board chair. It just rotated out to the next.
Let me stop you right there. What exactly, because that's a big deal, what exactly is the Education Foundation?
So the Education Foundation is a direct support organization. It's every county has one. I think this one was created in the early 90s. And what it does is it supports local schools, public schools.
Okay.
And we get grant funding from the state. We also go out and get matching grants for other things. Like we just got a grant to adopt a spoil island so we can create like a marine classroom. So we borrow a boat from FAU, bring the kids out and do like classroom style education on the island. Oh,
wow. Okay, so it is multifaceted.
Yeah, so we do. I mean, we just gave out. We just had, I think it was $52,000 in scholarships this year that we gave out. We're just awarded.
Wow.
So it's a pretty big program. It's grown quite a bit under Tom Jones is the director of it. It's grown quite a bit since he's been running it.
Okay, so go ahead. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No worries. So I'm on that board. I also am currently the chair of the St. Lucie County Culture Alliance, which is a county board. It's a like quasi-governmental. And our goal is to increase tourism and revenue and culture through arts and culture.
Right.
So that's good. We've got a concert series that we're doing here. We just kicked it off, the first one on Friday. We're doing them we got a big grant for that. This is our third year of a 3-year program.
Well, tell me about that.
So it's from the Levitt Foundation, and the idea is the Mortimer Levitt, who started it, grew up very poor, and he listened to music that was played live around where he grew up.
Right.
So as he created a custom shirt company, made a ton of money, and when he passed, he put it all into a foundation to promote live music in underserved areas. So as a community gathering space, and the idea is to promote areas that are underutilized. So right now we're hosting 7 of these 10 concerts at the Morris Creek Linear Park, which is on 7th and D. It's where they hold like the Highwayman Festival and things like that. So we're teaming up with Main Street, Lincoln Park, to host several concerts there, and there'll be a couple downtown as well.
Oh, terrific. Yeah. Okay. So go ahead.
All right, so then next, I'm Guardians for New Futures, which we'll talk about a little bit later. I'm their board chair as well. I just joined the Fort Pierce Affordable Housing Authority, which handles all of the Section 8 housing, things like that.
And what is Section 8 housing?
Section 8 housing is the low-income housing here in this county. I think we have 852 units, something like that. So we manage that, the housing stock, the staff, the repairs, maintenance, all that sort of stuff. I just recently joined that board, so I'm kind of getting my feet wet on that one. I'm on the contractor licensing board for the City of Fort Pierce and also the Community Redevelopment Advisory Committee for the City of Fort Pierce.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. No, and you have a day job, you know.
Right, yeah. And we have a company that's about $30 million in revenue with 30 people, so it's a lot. Yeah.
No, well, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for putting aside the time to be with us. Okay, but the reason I called you initially was to talk about GFNF,
Correct.
right?
Yep.
Okay, which is Guardians for New Futures. And I know Deborah Butler is the executive director,
Correct.
I guess but you're the board president, and she said you're a wonderful board member, which we all know. It's one thing to be on a board, it's another thing to be a wonderful board member.
Right.
Yeah. But she was out of town, and of course she said, I've got the perfect person, which is, of course, you. Tell us about what Guardian for New Future. I know it's really expanded and it's multifaceted too, but let's start with the basics.
Sure. So Guardians for New Futures originally started as a children's advocacy group, and with reducing child harm, things like that, and
abuse.
There you go. And that's originally how it started. And we have the Children's Safety Summit. I'm getting the name wrong, but it's every year we do a big 2-day event where we bring in all these people, because what we've found is, especially when it comes to abuse and things like that, people don't know what they don't know.
Right.
So they don't know the signs to look for. They don't know some of the tertiary things that may come around. So we try to educate them in how to get help, where to get help. And then the reason we got involved, we were actually the contractor for the Children's Advocacy Center when they built it. So we did the build out for Debbie. We really got to understand the program and got to know it. And that's really
where are they located?
They're in the, it's actually right across the street from this building, but it's in St. Lucie West at the old PGA Learning Center.
Right. And they actually, I did a walk through there, gosh, I guess when they first opened, I couldn't believe, but do kids go there? I mean,
we've served over 1,500 kids so far in the roughly 2 years that it's been opened, which it's a big number, it's a sad number, but it's good that it's there to get the help.
But, okay, let's start with the basics. How do kids get involved with?
So it's referrals. So whether they come in
from the school,
well, it could be really anything. So it could be a police-led action. It could be health-related stuff. However it comes through, they get referred to the Children's Advocacy Center.
Okay.
And Children's Advocacy Centers are important because generally when counties don't have one or judicial regions don't have one,
right,
conviction rates are usually in the 30 to 40% range. Once you have the CACs in there, those goes up to over 90 for abuse claims. And the way that they do that is children are, historically not great narrators. So rather than having them go to 6 or 7 different agencies to all get interviewed by the different people and essentially re-traumatizing the child every single time, making them relive it, they bring them into the center where they have mental health care, they have all these support services, and then it's a more welcoming environment. They do one interview with the child while everybody watches via closed circuit television. All the questions that need to get asked are asked in one setting, so there's no chance for going back and confusion and that sort of thing.
Now, is this in conjunction with law enforcement?
Yes, ma'am. They actually reside in the building.
Okay.
So we have different agencies in the building that are actually there to take part in this.
And that's all at the PGA Learning Center?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Yeah, at the actual Children's Advocacy Center.
So it's kind of a one-stop shopping.
Yeah, exactly, and that was the whole point. You bring the children into a safe, welcoming environment, you have one interview with them, and then they have the support services, whether it's mental health, they have therapy animals that come in. We're actually fundraising right now for a healing garden, which is an outside space where they can take the children out and make them comfortable while they talk to them and work through therapy and things like that.
Now, when you say children, what ages are we talking about?
It's really anybody that would experience abuse as a child.
Okay.
But it's mostly focused towards the younger ages where there's not any advocates for them. But it can be anyone that's underage. Okay,
so let's walk through this. A child is living in a home. The child comes to school, let's say, with bruises or whatever. Obviously, they call law enforcement. Do they automatically go to the CAC?
I'm not 100% sure because that's kind of outside of my realm of it. But yeah, because in the schools, those are obviously mandated reporters. So if they see something, they have to say it. It gets referred to a DCF or local law enforcement. And then they work with the CAC to get the child the care that they need. I'm sure there's caveats to that, but...
Yeah, but so this is just kind of... I'm trying to wrap my mind around it. Kind of an easier way for an abused child to go through the system?
Correct. Yeah, in some ways, yeah. I mean, that's like the baseline of it, is it's an easier way for the child to go through the system, not have to constantly get hassled with retelling the story, reliving the trauma.
Right.
It also creates a better data collection and record collection while they're there, so the prosecution is easier. And then they can tailor the therapy around what has actually happened based on the people that they've got on site.
Now, do you all work with the state attorney's office?
Yes.
Or, okay.
Yep.
Okay. So while, and you may or may not know the answer to this, every child that you serve, so to speak, actually has a criminal case pending?
That,
or no?
I don't know. I mean, because it doesn't necessarily have to be abuse, but it's any sort of traumatic situation. And it may not be a criminal referral, but I would say likely it would be.
Right, right. But it could be just something that the child, a parent dies or whatever, and they need help.
They will help with that. That's not the main goal, but we can help find assistance for that.
Okay, it's usually physical abuse.
It's physical, mental, anything kind of like that, where it's more negative abuse rather than events that happen in their life.
Okay. Now, once they get involved with CAC, how long are they there? Is it? I mean,
it really just depends on how long the therapy they would need to come back for and things like that. It's tailored for every child.
Okay. So it could be months that they are involved?
Yeah, from what I understand, yeah.
Okay.
You know, we don't really get a lot of case level detail because it's not really, we talk in generality, so we're not talking about specific people. But, yeah, the care will extend or, you know, go up or down based on what the child actually needs.
Okay. And then from the CAC, where do they go? They're obviously released or graduated or whatever you want to say because they're kind of got their feet on the ground and are
yeah, or at least the threat is gone, so they can go back into the home or whatever it may be. Because we have a short-term shelter program as well, where we can find, you know, if it's something where the child can't be in the home, we can find temporary shelter. But the idea is to get them.
I think that's something Deborah mentioned. So you do have, I guess you network or collaborate with other agencies so that if they do need a temporary living situation, you're able to assist them with it.
Yeah, we can provide that. I mean, obviously not for very long term. Then it would get referred to some other government system. But for now, we can house them temporarily, stabilize the situation, and then work through it and help them get back.
And obviously you work with DCF.
Correct, yeah. DCF's involved, the state's attorney. I can't think of all the other agencies.
Right, well,
offhand.
obviously
Yeah, I think we have
enforcement.
7 or 8 agencies that are in the building.
Right. Now, okay, so there are other facets of Guardians for New
Correct,
Futures.
yeah,
So let's talk about those.
And lately, the Children's Advocacy Center has been a big one. That was a big capital build. We got money from the state for it to build it. So
but that wasn't how Guardians for New...
that's kind of been the big thing lately, but Guardians does other stuff as well.
And that's what I want to talk about.
Yeah. So the big one is they do the Children's Summit every year, and that's a 2-day event. That's where they...
And who attends that? The parents or?
No, it's community people, it's law enforcement people, it's other people that just want to know more about what's going on. We'll try to bring in sponsors. It's really just a community awareness event for how to spot and prevent abuse.
Okay, and when is that?
I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay.
That was a note I should have made today. I did not, so I apologize for that one.
But it's coming up, or?
Yeah, it'll be. I really wish I had that. I might have it on my tablet here. I don't think I do. I don't know. I can get that to you though. Maybe we can have Craig edit that in for us. But yeah, I'll get you that date. I don't know what it is off the top of my head.
Okay, and so you do the summit. What else does Guardians for New Futures
It's
do?
really just awareness is the biggest one.
Okay.
Is to get out into the community and just talk about this, make connections with other agencies, and Guardians has now kind of become. It does its own stuff with teachings and stuff like that, but it's also a support organization for the CAC. So it's fundraising to keep that alive.
But didn't Guardians for New Futures come first?
It did. Guardians for New Futures, it was started, I don't remember, it's been 12 years, I believe, something like that. And
it started as what?
It started as like a teaching, just an awareness group to get out there and let them know. And that's where she started the Child Summit, which was to bring all the stakeholders in and just kind of share the information of what's going on in the county.
Okay. And then from there...
And then from there, she had met other groups and started working with the Florida Coalition of CACs and learned that the prosecution rates, like I had mentioned earlier, and how big of a difference it makes once there's a refined collection method for this information. And that was, I think, man, that was 2 or 3 years ago at this point when we first started working on it. But that's where it shifted, because that's where we can do the most good, is getting the children the help and then teaching the community on the backside of it.
Okay. So the Guardians for New Futures started, and you still are doing some of it, as an awareness group for child abuse.
Correct.
And to train the community, teachers, law enforcement, et cetera, what to look for. But it is morphed now, and you're, I guess, is that, and when I say the only, it's obviously a big deal.
Right.
Is the CAC the main portion of Guardians for New Futures?
Currently it is. It's the largest, it's the largest revenue and expense source that we have, so it is a big focus on what Guardians for New Futures does.
Now, how many people work there? I mean,
right now we're going through kind of a little bit of a reorganization, so we're down to, I think, 2 or 3 people at the moment, and that's not counting the outside agencies. That's just staff from the CAC.
Oh, okay.
So the other agencies, they lease office space, so they have staff on site.
Oh, okay. So you're kind of...
We're like a hub.
I was going to say, you're the hub and all these other...
Yeah, it's more of a facilitation hub for us.
I gotcha.
Because we provide the space to have the children come in and then get the help that they need from the professionals or law enforcement or what have you.
Do you utilize volunteers?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And how, if someone wants to volunteer, what...
the best thing to do would be to reach out directly to the Children's Advocacy Center, because that's where we're headquartered at the moment.
Okay. And people can Google that? And
yeah, we have a great website. It's got a ton of information. I was actually just perusing it to get a little bit more clarity last night. So, but there's a ton of information on there about all the different programs that we offer.
Oh, okay.
It's really good website.
Well, okay, so what other programs do you offer?
Well, I mean, as far as like we have the shelter for the kids. We've got the safety thing that we do every year.
Right.
So it's on there, and there's a lot of little things that happen in the background too, of fundraisers and things like that we do as well.
I gotcha. Okay. So if someone wants to get involved, they could obviously volunteer, with the children in the Advocacy Center, or help with a fundraiser or whatever.
we just put on a Zumba event that one of our board members wanted to do, and so we had a small community event just to come out and raise awareness.
Right.
And so we can volunteer for that, or we can volunteer for the Children's Summit, or even just at the facility if we can
they
find
want to.
Yeah, we can find space.
How are you all funded?
We had a large state grant that actually got pulled, or we got reduced, ours VOCA, and right now we are just trying to raise money mostly through the community. We do get some help.
Oh, wow.
From, we do get some state level help and things like that, but a big portion of our funding was recently dried up, and we are trying to get that back through reaching out to the community, and again, spreading awareness of what we've done with conviction rates, how many children we've actually helped here locally.
Right.
And we're just trying to get that message out.
Well, when you say are you in Florida, is this a statewide initiative? Brandon, or is this just something that's local that
It's a
St. Lucie County has?
No, it's a statewide initiative. So there's a Florida network of children advocacy centers, and they work together.
And this is per statute or per?
No, this is not per statute. This is not every district has it. This is something that somebody has to create to assist it, and then we work with the coalition to make sure that we're we're approved and we're doing things correctly, and we're working to their system.
Okay. And then previous years, you've gotten actual funding from the legislature for this?
We did. We were getting a VOCA grant, and it was reduced significantly.
Okay. Yeah, well, and this year, we don't know what's going on.
Anything can happen, right?
Everything's up in the air. Well, so tell us some of your, how long have you been on the board?
I've been on there. I've been on the board for a little over 2 years, and I just recently became the board chair. A few months ago.
What are some of the, if you will, are there any stories or anything about any of the children that you've?
I don't really like to get into that because it's
right.
Some of the things that happen are not stuff that I really even would like to know about. The children. So we don't really get into any of the specific details. We get updates and things on some of the positive outcomes, but they're all very personal.
Right. Do most of the children that the CAC deals with, do they get reunited with their families ultimately, or do you even know? I
don't really even know because that's once it gets onto the court side, and I guess it would depend on the severity.
Right.
Is it neglect? Is it abuse? What exactly transpired?
Okay. Are there particular criteria? Now, let's say somebody in the community is watching, and they sense that there is abuse or neglect next door going on. Obviously, they can call 911 or whatever. They wouldn't call you first.
No, okay. Because we don't have the authority to really, we would have to just refer it out.
Okay, they could call you and get advice, I guess, but you would, we
would have to turn it over to somebody to initiate it, to bring it back in as a legal case.
I gotcha, okay. So what are your hopes and dreams? I mean, are you hoping to expand? Are you?
I think right now we're trying to get our funding back. We're trying to make sure that we're sustainable. So right now, it's kind of everybody's goal right now is just to make sure that we're healthy and that we have the ability, because we don't generate any revenue. It's all going to be donations, grants, what have you.
Yeah, and does St. Lucie County
I'm sure that there's some level of it. I don't know exactly what that would be though.
Right. Okay, so if someone is interested and they want to help, they can go on should they go on the GFNF?
Yeah, it's GFNF4kids.org.
Okay.
And that'll have all of our contact info. You can read about all of our programs. It'll go in a lot more in depth than I have. But it's very well laid out and very comprehensive.
Okay. So with all the things you're doing and all the boards that you're on, any other pitches you want?
I mean, we're on the education channel, so I would say if there's any children watching this, come back, stay in this community, stay in this county. There's a future here. We have unprecedented growth right now. Please don't leave and go other places. We're a full-fledged community, and we need you to come back.
Well, and I was actually born in Miami. I'm a real Floridian, believe that or not. I was born in Miami and raised in Fort Pierce, so I've seen it all.
Right.
I mean, for 100 years. But God, what a beautiful! I mean, who would have thunk it? You know. I mean, and I'm sure. Were you raised here as well?
Yeah, I grew up here.
Okay.
Grew up here. Went through St. Lucie County schools. Like every other kid that came out, right, around the early 2000s, we needed to get out.
Right.
I went to Orlando for a few years, realized that wasn't really what I was looking for. We came back, bought a house, started a family, and I'm extremely glad that we did.
Oh, and what a safe community, and again, the education that people can, because of the college, going from a community college
Right.
to a state college, the local schools. I mean, it's incredible.
Yeah, no, it's great. I mean, that's when I graduated from St. Lucie County Schools, and then I got a building construction degree from Indian River State College. So I've been able to educate myself here and use that education to start a business here, and that's done very well.
What you talked about the Levitt Foundation, the Education Foundation. There was one other that we didn't really.
It was the Cultural Alliance, so that's part of the Levitt Foundation.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and then the affordable housing is where we manage the Section 8 housing and affordable housing in the city.
Now, with the cultural, are you responsible for all the beautiful artwork and I don't mean, yeah, I know you're not going to take credit for it because
Yeah, no,
you probably did not
Yeah.
paint that.
No,
yeah.
I cannot paint.
But certainly Fort Pierce, St. Lucie County has kicked it up. I mean, you drive around the area. I mean, oh my gosh, the beauty.
Each city municipality has its own drive. So Port St. Lucie has its own art group. Fort Pierce does as well. They have Fort Pierce Art Club. The
Right.
county's got its Arts and Public Places program. We're focused on being like an umbrella organization that tries
Right.
to promote everybody else. But some of the work you'll see from us is downtown in the 111 Orange Building.
Right,
We have our office, which is called The Vault, and it's full of local art.
right.
So you can go down there and see it. We run art walks the third Friday of every month. And then we also do things like we've done displays inside the courthouse, the county courthouse.
Right.
We have stuff. We have a boardroom in the county.
Well, you have artwork there now.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
We have an exhibition there.
Yeah.
That's correct. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I did not know. Now's the time to pitch it. I know the 111 Orange Avenue building or whatever, which I was just in the other day for a award ceremony, is beautiful. I mean, talk about, and I remember when it was a post office.
Yeah. No, so that's 500 Orange. So 111 is the old bank next to the Galleria downtown.
The old bank.
Yeah, was it SunTrust? Right next to the clerk of court.
Oh,
Yeah,
yes,
with the big
of
orange on it,
course.
yeah.
Okay, and go ahead. You have the art.
Yeah, so we have an art gallery down below. It's called the Vault because it's in
Right.
the old bank basement.
Right,
So we
right.
actually have a section that's in the old vault, which is really nice to see. But we do teaching classes down there. We have local artists in residence who are working down there.
See, I mean, that's right next to my building. I had no idea.
We're really trying to get out there right now and really own the fact that we're an umbrella organization. So we're not trying to run our own events. We're trying to promote everybody else's.
Right. No, but I mean, we need to get the word out.
Yeah, yeah.
So, and what about the art walks? Let's talk
So that's
about.
the third Friday, so you can go down to downtown Fort Pierce on Friday. We have multiple stores that function as galleries. We've used
Okay.
my office a few times. It's great.
Right.
There's wine around. We'll have some local artists out there doing whatever they do, whether it's sculpting,
And what
painting.
time is this,
I
Brandon?
believe it starts at 6.
Okay.
6 to 8, I believe.
And people can just stroll and kind
Yeah,
of.
come down and see the vault. You can meet with Maddie Williams. She'll be running the concerts, but we'll have people down there in the vault that are down there to show you around and introduce you to everybody. And then you can take a nice tour of downtown Fort Pierce.
Well, and the so the store or whatever, the grocery store isn't there anymore.
Correct, yeah.
Okay, so it's just.
Yeah, the grocery store is out of there. Lisa Jill Allison has a bunch of paintings stuck in there right now temporarily. And then the Highwayman Museum or Gallery just opened in that building as well.
Oh, wonderful.
Yeah.
Okay, well, believe it or not, we are out of time. And thank you for taking the time in your busy schedule.
Yeah, thank you
This
for
was
inviting me.
wonderful.
Great,
Okay.
thank you.